Hey, Gutfoxx here. So, it's been exactly a month since the game launched, and I kind of want to do a little bit of a month in review, game review almost, after playing it quite a, fair number of hours. I think probably over 200 over the last month. I delved quite deep into it. You guys can see and ranked, I'm 25-0, pretty good at the game, so I got a good idea how it plays and what things that, they did well this year. Obviously, the good, the bad, and the ugly, with the servers being the main one of those. But let's go through, I guess, my thoughts. Let's start with the good, okay? I do think hitting is improved over last year. Now, I was skeptical about, competitive simulation, casual game modes. I don't know how the other two play, but competitive's playing okay, I'd say right now. We'll talk about some of the things that are doing well, and some of the things that are doing a little bit might need to be looked into. As those are the things we're gonna spend the most time on. As those are the most important things to talk about. But overall, I thought the change this year, and we can open some packs while we do this. To hitting, they made it a little bit more rewarding. I think it is better this year than it was last year, than it's been in the last probably, 4 or 5 years since they added the real ball physics into the game. So I think 21 is in a great spot. They got a lot of people playing it, obviously going basically free to play on Xbox, introduced a ton of people into the game. Let's rip like a 50 bundle while we talk about this stuff. So it's nice, right? Hitting is great. Pitching itself, I think pitching itself, if they wouldn't have brought pinpoint back into the, or if they wouldn't have put that into the game, something that we saw in like 2K back in the day, but they wouldn't have brought that into the game this year, I think pitching would have also taken a step up. Analog is better than last year, without a doubt in my mind. Pitches don't hang at all. The pinpoint, I do think, is a good addition. It is a little on the overpowered side. We'll talk about that in the bad section, but overall, I do like the ability to have multiple pitch styles, multiple ways of playing the game, and enjoying it. Whether you want to go in with the meter, or they want to go more casual style, just get really casual and play classic pitching. Whatever you want to do, I don't hate that there's a lot of different ways of doing it. So that's really nice, right? They haven't changed up the gameplay and patches at all. Now, I know a lot of people have had trouble. Xbox Next Gen was down for a day because of they had a patch, but they forgot to make it live on Xbox Next Gen, so we were kind of left out in the cold for a little bit, and that sucks. So there's a lot of patches in this game, and it does feel like sometimes they don't test a lot because the patches have introduced errors into the game too, so we get a little bit of that EA-ness in it where, hey, maybe we should have taken a little bit to test this before we made it live. So that's, I guess I put that in part of the good part, that they haven't patched gameplay, but from the bad part is they have made some patches and they have broken some things along the way with it. I do think this is the best show I've played, considering Diamond Dynasty, everything going on. This is the #1 game that I've ever played for a show. The Stadium Creators is amazing. That edition alone is worth the price of admission. Now, the price of admission obviously is almost nothing for over half the audience now, but I think Stadium Creator and Next Gen, is it a reason to buy a Next Gen console? Maybe not, but it is one of the ones that tilt you in the kind of favor of it. Next Gen, you get better frame rates. You'll see a lot more people in Next Gen going in to play Major League Stadium, so they can get a competitive advantage over current gen guys who it chugs on that thing. So there still is, a lot of people will want to play in minor league stadiums because of the better frame rates, but I don't know, that's still tough, the fact that the game is choppy at times. So, on to the bad, although there's some negatives sprinkled in there with goods, right? Like, can I say anything more than the best show game, right? I don't know if I can. But, into the bad, into the things that maybe they should look at after like a month of playing the game, thoroughly testing it, thoroughly getting into it, thoroughly deep diving into this. Sinkers. Sinkers are still the most overpowered pitch in the game. The fact that they got that upward hump is the reason why they're so good. If sinkers just sunk, if they just sunk, that would be one thing. But the fact that they move up like a curve and then sink at the last second is the issue with the sinker. I don't know why the devs, this has been a problem for this third MLB The Show, where sinkers are just crazy, and you see them spammed quite a bit, especially up and in against same-handed batters. They're very hard to see because basically you have to sit on them, you have to swing at them before you even know that's a sinker. And if they throw you off speed stuff, oh dang it, I should have just opened that normally. I didn't even expect to get a diamond here. Hey, we got a diamond. Buxton, sweet. Welcome to the lineup. Well, maybe not lineup, but welcome to the binder. So sinkers, and we're getting to that in the ugly section, the network errors. they're still, and it's pitching too overpowered now on Legend. I know a lot of Legend guys. I don't like to play the game on Legend. It is very hard, especially if the guy that you're going against knows what they're doing pitching wise. If they're using pinpoint pitching, and they are putting those things and moving the sinker around the zone. Man, it is really tough to get a hold of it and to contact that stuff at all, especially with same-handed batters. Switch hitters are still the best thing in existence. I can't wait for Mickey Mantle to come out along with Chipper here. So hitting is still a little bit on the fluky side for competitive. There are times where I'll miss the ball and hit a home run, or be on the edge of my PCI and it'll just go out of the park. All right, there are times that'll happen where like the fatigue in the pitcher, confidence pitcher is totally fine, and then other times where it'll basically be in very close to the very center of my PCI with very good timing, either barely before, barely after, and it'll just be a fly out somewhere. And you're like, what? Wait, what? How does that make sense? So hopefully they can still, like, I'm saying it's better than last year for sure. Better than the year before at 18, of course. But hopefully they can tighten that up a little bit. That good PCI contact really matters, not just like, 80% of the time, because it definitely 100% matters. Don't get me wrong. PCI contact is still one of the most important things. That and timing is one of the most important things in hitting. But sometimes you can actually nail a guy and then you just, you get frustrated, right? Like people say, oh, that's just baseball. No, that's just baseball is when like you get some grounders that are seeing eye grounders to get through the third and shortstop hole. And then sometimes they go directly at third base and sometimes they go directly at shortstop. That's baseball. Not, you square a ball up and then it pop flies where physics don't work. That's not baseball, okay? So, like, a lot of people confuse that's baseball as just a bailout for the entire game. Now, in a simulation setting, and if that was the setting that you're playing on, I can conceive that, yeah, maybe more that's baseball things could happen. But because they put in the game, it's called competitive game style. Because they put that in the game, it should actually be a competitive game style, all right? And it should matter as much as possible, all right? So let's open some more packs while we're doing this. I'll open another bundle. So that needs to happen. I think PCI, if you miss the ball, I don't think you should be able to get a hit, right? If the ball's in the outer PCI, it should be like a foul ball. It should be like tipped off in foul territory and out most likely, but there really shouldn't be a whole lot of hits if you miss the freaking ball, okay? With your outer PCI. Who do we got here? A purple, it's an 85 to 89. It's got the swagger, and it is Buxton again? Wow, okay. Give me more elites than just Buxton. That's another bad thing, too. I think, yeah, foul tips still happen way too frequently, especially on All-Star. But you do see them a little bit at the higher levels. But especially on All-Star, in the dirt, I'll throw the pitch. They'll be very early on the slider or the changeup and still get a foul tip. That shouldn't happen. Very early, PCI nowhere near it, and they still get a foul tip. That needs to be a swing and a miss a little bit more. I think when your complete PCI misses it, you should be able to swing through the ball a little bit more and not get those lucky bailout foul tips on stuff so far out of the zone. That should be a little bit worse than it is right now. So hopefully that'll happen. All right. Fielders do seem a little fast. Talking about Buxton, like I'm just pulling his card. He flies in the outfield, right? Superhuman speed. I think it's not just the speed, but maybe the acceleration of them too to get to balls is kind of wild. Now, they've done a really good job with reaction in the outfield. Guys get bad break on it if they have bad reaction, if they're bad fielders, that kind of stuff. I think that's awesome. But I think the actual speed, and it would be interesting to see people, if somebody could like measure it, the amount of ground being made up by some of these outfielders is a little bit on the ridiculous side. So hopefully they could take a look at that in the future and be like, okay, wait, let's get some real player motion, because they have, just like Madden, next gen stats, and so they can actually track guys on the field and they can see, hey, this stat says this guy gets up to 20 miles per hour at the end of his run, or it takes them this many seconds to go this many feet on a fly ball. Hey, maybe we should add that into the game. These are just diamond. Oh, okay, diamond catcher gear, 5,000 stubs, not bad. So hopefully they can do that. Like creative players, talk about that. Creative players are bad. Creative players should not be in Diamond Dynasty. Keep them in Road to the Show. I love them. Or go back and nerf creative players back to their former unglory. Right? Because we've seen creative players basically take over the game right now. They've taken over the game in the past. It's not good for the game. Basically, cheesy cap pitching. You have a switch hitting Barry Bonds that can play shortstop. It's pretty awful when Cap's on the field, basically another position that's locked down all year. If we're going to talk about Diamond Dynasty content, the number of guys that are basically the best of their position will be there all year is it's tough to see, right? Soriano and, I mean, Ortiz will be hard to beat, but I can see someone beating him. Maybe an endgame Babe Ruth will replace Ortiz there, but it'll be very tough. But Chipper's not going to get replaced. So the thing is, like, the live series collections is loved though. So like, I don't know. I hate to say nerf them a little bit. Maybe they can improve their stats as the year goes along, but I don't mind with like getting like one end game card right away from the live series collection, but having the cap on top of it and basically being like super glitchy pitchers, I don't think cap should be in the game going forward. I did an entire video on it. You can take a look at that video. I think outside, like, yeah, first baseman with the auto dives are impenetrable barriers sometimes. Like, the guy's auto dive so easy. It's almost sometimes better to hit the ball directly at a bad fielder than to his side, because they'll make these insane diving plays to his side because the computer just decides, hey, I'm going to auto dive and get it perfect. So maybe make players under a certain rating not auto dive. That would be awesome, right? I do think like third basemen are still pretty nice with the auto dive too, and aren't bad enough there, but I have seen some, you know, plays at different positions getting played worse. So I think they're getting a little closer year to year with certain players getting worse at that position if they have worse fielding, but I don't think they're quite there yet. I think contact hitters are basically useless again unless you're bunt cheesing, of course, with the high speed guys. I don't like the fact, I don't know, make contact hitters have the ability to get more, you know, Texas leaguers, more ground balls, make a quirk. I don't care what you do. You gotta balance out contact hitters versus raw power guys, because the raw power guys have dominated the game since 18, right? Immortal Gallo. So I think it was 19 the year of the maybe it was 19 when we had home runs per 9 in the game, when that just basically suppressed everything, and you wanted the guys that slap a little bit more. So maybe it hasn't been that, but overall over the course of MLB The Show history, power has been the meta. It's still the meta. It's not very well balanced in my opinion with raw contact guys, because, you know, if you miss the ball and your PCI, and if your PCI is small and you miss it with a power guy, they can still hit it out of the park because of, like I talked about, the early flukiness, right? If you miss the ball with a guy with a large PCI, no power, he's gonna pop it up and it's gonna get caught, right? The PCI doesn't offer enough bailout, right? If you get it inside the PCI, that's supposed to be the point of the large PCIs. The fact that you get him in there is solid contact. We don't see that in the game this year. You can get the ball completely surrounded by the PCI and hit a pop fly. But you can get the ball, you can slice the ball, you can miss the ball and hit a home run with a power guy. So the PCI is almost like, it's like kind of a lie at times. And it's frustrating. So they need to work out some way of balancing that out between contact and power dudes that way. All right. Yeah, the meta cards, I talked about a little bit, the Diamond Dynasty content. I think the Diamond Dynasty content has been fine so far. Maybe as we move into summer, hopefully get some more. Hopefully get Team Affinity 2. We'll see. It's too early to see Diamond Dynasty content. I thought, like I said, in the good portion, free to play this game is amazing. So it's really cool for all the new Xbox guys that don't want to spend, you know, a rack on the game, that you can free to play using the market. The market's amazing. The market's been amazing for years. But it's so easy to basically free to play and get a ton of stubs. Dog, I just got him again. I just got busted again. Why is my RNG the same thing? The server keeps kicking me off, and then it keeps giving me... Oh, wait, no, that's not Buxton. That was Real Muto. I don't know why I thought it looked like Buxton again. I don't know. Real Muto. Okay, I got a different one. Shoot. Ate my own words right there. All right, the ugly. The ugly portion, the worst parts of this game absolutely need to be fixed up. Servers, they know that. That's the number one priority. They've talked about it. They've talked about a few of the things that I've talked about things that they're going to fix, right? The R2 spammers, right? I'm not going to mention that because they said they're going to look into it to fix it. That's awful, right? Bunt dancers are basically guys just saying F you. I hate the fact that bunt's super effective this year. You don't, you know, against the shift, I think bunt, you know, it is what it is. That's strategy. But like the ability to just lay down a bunt and make it to first base is annoying and a kind of a bailout for bad players. The franchise mode, it's brutal. They care about franchise mode less than Madden does, and that's saying quite a bit. Franchise mode, the trade system, they said they updated. They added depth charts. Who cares? Franchise mode's been a disaster in this game for years. It's truly sad because I think a lot of us gamers grew up on franchise mode being the mode that we played the most. So to see it where it's at is in a devastating place. I think freeze-offs, there need to be some sort of kill switch for freeze-offs to allow people to, like, you know, hey, get back to the game, right? So freeze-offs are I don't know how they fix those. It seems to be a lot of freeze-offs still. Disconnects are, you know, tied to the servers too. So freeze-offs, servers, disconnects, that kind of stuff is the ugliest part and stuff that just absolutely ruins the experience. I get a lot of tweets, a lot of people in Twitch chat saying, I hate this game because of this server issue. And, you know, you're going to turn the community against you if the community can't play your game. Because guess what? When the community's playing your game, they're not on Twitter complaining and blowing up your mentions. When the community's playing your game, they're not yelling at each other about how trash this game is, and then the trash side ends up winning these arguments because they can fight longer with easier arguments than, like, actually the game's good. So you're losing a lot of PR right now with how bad the game is with disconnects and freezes. Hopefully they can fix some of this stuff. Maybe add, right? Like, the one thing I'd say I'd want added or changed, get rid of casual, turn casual into 3-inning games with your Diamond Dynasty team. It takes you forever to match up in casual. I think if you turn casual into your you know, like just like ranked seasons, but only 3 innings, because there's a lot of guys that only can get a few innings in. You know, being a dad, right? Like the kid who's up with mom right now, sometimes starts yelling. I'm like, all right, I gotta go. So like basically have casual rotate every week between All-Star and Hall of Fame, and then give rewards like events too. So events are nice, casual 3-inning games, battle royales, a little more hardcore. But I wouldn't mind being able to actually use my team somewhere besides for just ranked seasons if I can't get a whole 9-inning game in, because I don't want to leave a game midway through if I got other responsibilities to do at night. So that's my one suggestion. Hopefully they can replace that casual with that, because I don't like casual. I don't know. I gave casual a chance. It just takes way too long to match up in. But otherwise, overall, it's been a very solid month. I've enjoyed my time. Hopefully you guys have too. Let me know what you guys think about the game right now. Thanks for watching. Overall grade, the servers knock it down about 1.5 points. Freeze offs probably another 0.5 point. So I'm gonna give it, like, is it a perfect game? No. I think Diamond Dynasty maybe could have some updates, maybe a little bit more content. That would be ideal. I feel like it's just slightly behind the amount of content that I want during the season. Maybe add one more day of it. Who knows? But maybe I'm just too used to MUT with all the crazy amount of content they give us on a weekly, daily basis during the season. But overall, I think, like, I'm not going to take off 2 whole points because of freeze and disconnects, because overall I'm still putting a lot of time. I'll give this game, because of the server issues, is the only reason I'm rating it this low, is an 8.2. It's a good game. I enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Call to action. Let me know what you think in the comments. Peace.